here is so that I clarify or that we get an understanding of what the expectations are at iPrep Academy North, and that we get things rolling and ready for your child to participate in this school and to have the best possible start of the year. Okay. So having said that, school begins August 17th, and you have been receiving a lot of information from us. Many of you received it almost at the end of the school year, and throughout the summer, as people have enrolled here, we have been getting information out to you. If for some reason you have not gotten any of the information, you're welcome to email Ms. Plasencia or to email me. I'm going to give you my email address at the very end of the presentation again, and then we'll try to get you that information as soon as possible. I would like to give a shout out to the teachers that are here with us. I see Ms. Figueredo, and she's waving her hand. Mr. Sakowicz, who's here with us as well. Mr. Rollins is here with us. I'm not sure if I see anybody else. Mr. G, if you happen to see somebody else. Oh, Ms. Treto, our guidance counselor, is here with us as well. By the way, Ms. Figueredo teaches mathematics, Mr. Sakowicz teaches engineering, and Mr. Rollins, the people that I see, Mr. Rollins is a social studies teacher. Phenomenal, by the way. I would like to also take a moment to introduce our new AP. Ms. Mariola Baptiste is joining us. She comes from Linda Lenton K-8 Center. Ms. Baptiste, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve at iPrep Academy North. This is my first go round here, so I'll do more of the listening, taking notes, and thank you. I feel wonderful being at iPrep Academy North. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baptiste. It's a pleasure to really have you here. Ms. Baptiste and I have a history together. We worked at American Senior High School in the same capacity, her as the AP, along with me as the principal. So we do have a synergy going, and I think that this is going to be beneficial for iPrep Academy North. Certainly for me, as the principal and being the sole administrator in years past, is going to be great because I'll be able to pass on some of the information to her. I forgot to introduce our activities director, Magna lead teacher, test chair, and whatever else comes his way, Mr. Badebo. Many of you may have actually met him because he's the individual that coordinates our field trips within the building, and that means our tours. He puts things together, and some of you may have met him as you took tours here in the building. Mr. G, please. I guess, Mr. G, we're going to move forward. Mr. G is busy doing some other stuff. But okay, so let's move forward with the information that is needed in this particular case. So iPrep Academy North has been open for 2 years now. In year one, we housed 250 kids. In year two, we housed 400 kids. And in this upcoming year, so far, we have enrolled about 485 kids, well on our way to 500. So 500 individuals will be coming into this particular building. All of those individuals will be dressed alike, meaning there are no differences in grade level and what is it that you wear. Everybody wears the same uniform. Everybody carries on the same expectations. You should have received an email that links you to the preferred vendor that we have been utilizing. That's Luca Elite. The uniforms and the colors have been shared with you. There is 4 colors that we utilize. One is a pink, one is and I'm just going to utilize them in general: pink, blue, green, and gray. In addition to that, you have to utilize the jackets that come also with the school logo. By the way, the polo shirts that kids utilize in this particular building in those particular colors that I just mentioned are colors that are mandatory and they have to carry the school logo. In addition, the jacket is a black jacket. It has to carry the school logo as well. We have also put in place through the PTSA, and Ms. Furman is here, and I can actually see her here, and I think there are other members of the PTSA here. As their request, we have put a sweatshirt that is gray that must carry the school logo as well. Everything related to iPrep is copyrighted and must actually carry the school logo. If for some reason an individual shows up to school without the logo, without the uniform, without the expectations that have been set, you as a parent will be contacted, and then again, the specifications will be shared with you, and we will be able to move forward from there with the idea that that child, upon returning to school, will be dressed appropriately. But I think you have ample time to request all of the uniforms. These uniforms are being sent to your house. The only thing that you don't request through the vendor is the pants, which are either khakis or blue jeans. And when I say khakis, they're tan khakis, because you can certainly find a khaki that is blue and a khaki that is this. And in this day and age, things may get confused. But it's only one color khaki, the old-fashioned one, similar to what the Army wears with one of their uniforms, and the blue jeans as well. Shoes must be closed at all times. They are any type of shoe that the child wishes to wear. No Crocs, no slippers, no sandals, nothing that can actually encourage or may avoid, well, let's rephrase that, may actually trigger a child from getting hurt on their feet. So we need to make sure that they have a closed-toe, closed-heel shoe all the time. No leggings are allowed in this particular building. For the young ladies, that is something that sometimes individuals wish to wear. They're not allowed. In addition to that, no shorts, no skirts are allowed either. So please keep this in mind, parents, as you purchase your uniforms, because as individuals grow, they need to make sure that people are taking those things into consideration, and we want to carry ourselves in a certain way, and we want to make sure that kids are as safe as possible. That is the reason why we have put these uniforms in place. Now, in addition to that, attendance. Attendance is something that is compulsory. Everybody has to be sitting down in class by 7:50 in the morning. Dismissal is at 2:50 in the afternoon. That means that individuals will be coming into the building starting at any time between 7:15 and 7:49. If you actually arrive or your child arrives after 7:50, your child is going to be late. There are consequences to being late. Those consequences may be disciplinary, or they may also be academic. Why? We may have a particular teacher. In this case, I'm going to use Ms. Figueredo. Ms. Figueredo may have a quiz that is taking place in the first 5 minutes of class. And if there is a quiz in the first 5 minutes and for some reason your child is not there because your child is late, then your child may get a grade that is not acceptable. So we want to make sure that your child is here by 7:50 in the morning. If for some reason there are strenuous circumstances, of course, if for some reason something occurs, you'll be able to walk your child from the parking lot into the building, have a conversation with Ms. Kelly Tracy, our attendance clerk, and a note will be sent to the teacher in question. In this particular case, either Ms. Figueredo or any one of our other 20 teachers, and a note can be made or an adjustment can be made. But we want to make sure that kids are here from 7:50 on time until 2:50 in the afternoon. Lunches, there are 2 lunches. They are by floors. If the third block of the day is on the first floor, then the kids will go to first lunch. If the third block of the day is on the second floor, then the kids will go to second lunch. Now, you may say, Garnica, this might be a little bit confusing, but the kids get it. Starting on the first day, we move them forward and we tell them exactly what is it that they need to do, and they will be able to function without a problem. Keeping that in mind, the first lunch is at 11 o'clock in the morning. The second lunch is at 12:30 in the afternoon. Lunches are 45 minutes long each. Usually we give the kids an additional 3 minutes or 4 minutes or so as kids move about the building. But 45 minutes give them enough time for them to socialize, eat lunch, run up and down, do whatever it is that they need to do, even work on assignments that they may have to complete. See teachers if those teachers are actually available during lunch. But the idea is that kids have enough time to do as many things as possible. If you compare this to other schools, usually other schools are 30 to 35 minutes long in lunch. We have elected to do it a little bit longer, and I think is producing results for us here in this building. Drop off in the morning. Drop off will start again, as I mentioned, at 7:15. It can be done at 2 different locations, okay? And this is something that I will send out forward in the future, but I want you to be aware of it. So if you're dropping off between 7:15 and 7:30, you can drop off immediately behind the school in the parking lot. Again, between 7:15 and 7:30, immediately behind the school in the parking lot. If you are dropping off after 7:30, you can drop off in the parking lot, or you can drop off on the west side of the building. That is after 7:30, folks. Please keep that in mind. And you will be reminded later on. Between 7:15 and 7:30 in the parking lot, after 7:30 and up to 7:50, you can do both in the parking lot or along the west side of the building, which is called the bus lane, which is right outside my office. The reason why we cannot do it before is because Michael Crop utilizes the bus lane also for drop off of their kids. The buses arrive until 7:20. We need to keep that way clear until that particular moment, and we're giving them 10 minutes of leeway for them to get everything together. And then at 7:30, we pick it up for us to drop off our kids. The bus lane is a one-way street, everybody. Bus lane is a one-way street. It actually leads onto County Line Road, and you will have to go straight through there. You cannot make a U-turn in the bus lane and go back the same way you came in, because that may cause accidents. So I need you to keep that in mind. If you're dropping off in the bus lane, you have to continue on one way onto County Line Road and then find your way to Ives Dairy, depending on where you're going. Each one of our kids will be taking 8 classes for the upcoming year. 8. 4 classes one day, 4 classes the next day. It's what we call an A-B schedule. That gives individuals a chance to actually have moments to complete their homework, study, and do other things, as well as participate in extracurricular events without feeling that there is pressure to complete things from one day to the other. So it is important for kids to manage their time effectively and efficiently. If for some reason somebody is having difficulties with the managing of time, we need to let the teachers know what is it that the kids are experiencing. And that way we can have an honest conversation about helping your child be successful in this setting, which is going to be a setting that is going to push them, is going to ask that they explore scenarios that they may not have explored in the past. But I can assure you that they're not going to be left alone. Each one of us is here to provide support to our kids. And once they're here, they're ours as well. They're not yours, just yours. They're mine, they're Ms. Baptiste's, they're Ms. Treto, and every one of the teachers that is here, because we want to make sure that they're successful. If they're successful, we are successful. We can only be successful if we provide them with enough support in order for them to be able to move forward and achieve success. So please keep that in mind. I sent some information pertaining to our grades recently, our achievement levels. We did very well on the EOCs as well as on the FSA, to the point that one of our teachers, Ms. Moreno, in this particular case, had a jump of about 40 plus points from last year. That means that the bar has been raised. Most of our kids performed in the 80th percentile. We have some individuals that are not, and we are going to be helping those individuals move forward. But again, the bar has been set very high. So I have Mr. Rollins, whose kids pass at a rate of 96%, which is phenomenal. That's one of the best in the county. So your kids coming in are expected to perform as high. There is no way down from now. Many 2 years ago, some parents asked me, how do you expect us to bring your child here if you don't have any scores? Well, now I have scores, and I have very good scores, and the bar has been set at a certain level, and from there the sky is the limit. And again, we are going to be providing opportunities for for all of our kids, but we want to make sure that each one of our individuals performs up to par. Having said that, there is a direct correlation between grades and performance on EOCs and FSAs. Ms. Figueredo, who's a mathematics person, and she sits here, can actually attest to that particular fact. Anyone that fails our class failed the EOC. Anyone that passed our class passed the EOC. That means that whatever the teachers are doing in the IPAN classrooms, in the iPrep Academy North classrooms, is exactly what needs to be done. So again, the only thing I ask of you is for you to stay in touch with the grades that your child is achieving. And for that, you can only do it if you become part of the, also have access to a portal. So I sent an email with that information. It came, all my emails come via Ms. Plasencia. Ms. Plasencia sent an email about how to access the portal. In order for you to access the student portal, you need to gain a PIN that Ms. Plasencia can give you. If you haven't done so yet, please do. If for some reason you're new and the rollover has not occurred because Miami-Dade County has not rolled the kids over, you may not have access to the portal yet. But come next week, Monday, you should have access to see the students portal. And if you don't, please see Ms. Plasencia to get that particular PIN number. It is essential that you do. You'll be able to monitor performance. You'll be able to see grades. You'll be able to see whether the teachers are inputting grades or not. And if for some reason the teachers are not inputting grades, I will appreciate if you email me or email Ms. Baptiste, because it's important for the grades to be up to par. Every teacher has to upload at least one grade per week. And if the teachers collect more assignments, those grades need to be inputted as soon as possible. So please stay on top of your youngster. Make sure that your youngster is doing whatever it is that needs to be done. And that way we can achieve more success. By the way, I must say the following. Don't take any of this advice the wrong way. I am not here to chastise you or chastise your kid. I'm only sharing information with you. And if for some reason you think that I am going overboard, put it on the chat, and Mr. G will let me know. But I'm here to make sure that you understand where we stand and what it is that is expected of your child at all times, please. PIN number pickup. Now, if for some reason your child is failing a particular class, the first line of defense is for you to reach out to the teacher. You email the teacher or whatever mechanism that teacher has put in place in order for there to be a conversation between the parent and the teacher. If for some reason the teacher is not responding, please let me know. And teachers have a lot of things going on. And there are moments in which things may get lost in the email. Mr. Rollins can attest to that particular fact. If I am involved in the conversation or Ms. Baptiste is involved in the conversation, either one of us will actually go to the teacher and say, hey, please read your email. Make sure that you respond to this particular parent. Or if you cannot respond, let me know what to respond and I will respond and I will copy you. The idea here is for the communication to exist. It's a two-way communication, line of communication. We want to make sure that it's flowing properly and that all support is provided. Why? Because if your child comes term one is not performing up to par, then Ms. Treto gets involved in the conversation with Ms. Turnipseed. And then you receive a phone call that says your child has not passed this particular term. Please be aware that they need to participate in tutoring, or we need to seek additional ways of providing support to your child. Come the second marking term, if your child is failing a particular class, you may be asked to meet with me and with Ms. Treto or with Ms. Baptiste, because there has to be an analysis that has to be conducted about how to best help your child. Again, this is about providing support and making sure that your child understands what needs to happen in order for there to be success. Many of your children may not have been exposed to the curriculum that they will be exposed today. Again, here sits Ms. Treto, Ms. Baptiste, Ms. Figueredo, who have been in lower level classes, meaning, and I don't mean lower level compared to where we are, lower level meaning elementary school and middle school. And here we have middle and high. So these particular individuals can attest that the curriculum here is expected to move people up. And sometimes there are bumps on the road. And when those bumps are presented, we need to seek ways to ensure that the children get the support that is needed. So again, support is a big word for me. And support is not just letting the word flow, but no, I stand right next to your child. I will know their names. You will see me on a regular basis. You will see me at dismissal. You will see me at arrival. You will see me picking up garbage during lunch. Your child will see me. Your child will have access to me. Conversations will ensue. They can happen at any time. These can be impromptu or they can be planned. But seek me out, please. That way we can try to come up with a plan that will best serve your child, whatever that plan may be. Okay. Now, in this particular building, everybody has the possibility of getting see Miss try to get Miss Alonso on the meeting, please. Everybody has access to getting a MacBook Air if they want to. They can bring their own device from home. It is important to note that here we do not have hard cover or hard copy textbooks. All of the textbooks are online. So students need to have a machine that with which they can actually access this information. If for some reason they have impasses, we also have an individual here, or we have Mr. G or myself, a tech, Mr. Valdez, that can provide support and to try to get them on board with utilizing their own device if that's the route they need to go. But having said that, if you wish to have your child obtain a MacBook Air here in the building on August 2nd and August 3rd, between 10 and 1 o'clock, you will be having the chance of coming to the school with your child and getting one of these devices. I will be sending an email via Ms. Plasencia before Friday with that information as well, because I want to make sure that you have access to this and that your kids can actually gain access to it as quickly as possible. It is not a must, again, for them to utilize a MacBook Air that is given by the county. If you decide to get one, it is imperative, and I'm a firm believer in this, that you get insurance. Why? Kids are kids. Sixth graders are sixth graders and thereafter. Some of us drink coffee on top of our machine, and coffee falls on top of the machine. Kids do things. They bump the machine. They do this. Somebody stepped on it. Somebody dropped it. I dropped it. If you have the insurance will cover all of this. Insurance information will be released at a further email, not the one that's upcoming. But it's important for you to get it if you're going to get this particular device. I have seen it work. I believe that it provides results and things can get fixed at no cost whatsoever, just the purchasing of the insurance for that full year. Why do they need technology? Instruction flows, and Ms. Figueredo may argue with me, but instruction flows through the computer, okay? I have my mathematics teacher, and I am a mathematics teacher as well, that enjoys utilizing paper and pencil. I have nothing against that. But homework may be assigned on the machine, and they will have to look at the machine in order to print, in order to see, in order to complete whatever assignments are needed. So everybody here needs to have a machine, a computer, a laptop, a tablet, whatever that may be. There are some kids in this particular building that have up to 3 machines, and you see them here with a riser. They bring their gaming computer, they bring their school computer, and they lay it out at lunch, and they're working on all of these things. Yes, that could be your child, and that's okay. We allow everybody, and we have room for everybody in this particular building. As long as they have a machine to actually access their assignments, things will be great, and we'll be able to move forward from there. Testing. Mr. G is our test chair. He is the individual that sets up the EOC, FSA testing schedule. But in addition to that, he is the individual that sets up the Cambridge test schedule. We are a Cambridge school, and an acronym that you're going to be hearing a lot is AICE, A-I-C-E. This particular building is denoted as an ACE building, and we have to go through a registration process and an approval process. Cambridge is a curriculum that was set up by the Cambridge University in England. It is designed for secondary school students. It begins with pre-ICSE or pre-ACE classes. All of the core subject areas in this building are pre-ACE courses. They start in 6th grade, they end in 8th grade. They begin testing in 9th grade. What do I say about, or what do I mean about testing? So the ACE exams are exams that are administered at the end of every school year for particular courses. These courses may be core subjects, or they may be electives, such as music, which Mr. Baldwin is the music teacher in this particular building, such as computer science, which Mr. Sakowitz is going to be doing. And as we move forward, we are going to grow in that particular area as well. But these tests are designed to provide college credit to the students that complete these exams successfully. So the idea is that out of this building, everybody will graduate with 2 diplomas. One is a Cambridge diploma, and the other one is a high school diploma. You may ask, what is the Cambridge Diploma? Well, the Cambridge Diploma opens different doors. It provides for 100% bright futures in the state of Florida at any public university. In addition to that, it provides for there to be more access to any private university, whether it is in the state of Florida or outside the state of Florida, or any public university outside the state of Florida. In addition to that, it provides kids the opportunity, those individuals, and we had at American Senior, when I was there with Ms. Baptiste, a couple of kids whose parents were born in the UK, and those individuals went through the Cambridge program and they decided to go study in the UK at a very low rate. So there are chances, you don't need to have been born in the UK for you to participate in Cambridge University. As long as you have a Cambridge diploma, the university will look at you as a key member for them to accept at that particular school. So our students become internationally known in some regards, whether it is by the UK, or if they want to go to any one of the other 150 countries that offer any type of university coursework, and our students wish to participate in that coursework. So it is important to note that Ms. Treto and Ms. Turnipseed, as well as Ms. Baptiste, will be monitoring the performance of each one of our kids on these ACE exams, because there are requirements, and these requirements will be shared as time goes by. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a meeting with the 7th through 9th students, and then one with the 10th and 11th grade students, in which different conversations are going to occur, because we want to make sure that people are aware of what is expected, what they have completed, and what is needed for them to move forward. Same thing will happen with you later on. Not at this time, but you just need an overview of what is it that we are asking your students to do. Accommodations. We do not separate students in this building by accommodation. So if the student is special needs, or if the student is gifted, or the student is neither one, all students will be in the same classroom. The expectation is that everybody performs at the same level. Now, if for some reason there is a need for there to be additional support, Ms. Rubinowitz will be there available, and so will Ms. Treto and Ms. Turnipseed, to see how is it that we can best help every child. We also have a mental health coordinator in the building. I'm speaking too much now. So that mental health coordinator is Ms. Tucker. I hope that Ms. Tucker is still the one. Ms. Treto, just shake your head if you believe that she's the one. Yes? Excellent. So Ms. Tucker will be here with us, and she will also be providing support to our kids, whatever it is that they may need, because we want to make sure that people are comfortable with what's going on in their lives, and that their performance is up to par or as high as possible. And some of us may need more support than others. Again, the word support is there because we need to ensure that kids are doing well. We are a artificial intelligence magnet school that focuses on mathematics, science, and engineering. For that reason, we are the only school that has on paper a collaboration with Lego Education. So in grades 6 through 8, more or less, we will have students that are learning robotics, that are learning how to program. And those individuals will be in a classroom with Lego material, and Dr. Buncher doing some of this work, or early work, I should say, in order to prepare them to confront more difficult problems with programming, with networking, and with networking security. Mr. Sakowitz would be one of those individuals teaching the programming classes. We're hoping to grow and to do many more and bigger things in this particular building. We utilize Python apart from the Lego in order to do some of the computer programming. We do 3D printing. We're hoping that with Mr. Sakowitz, we begin to work on, and I'm utilizing his name a lot, we begin working on projects that may actually fuse the Cambridge program with this particular artificial intelligence area. So there are different things that kids are going to be achieving from within the school, all in preparation for them to be successful in college. For those individuals that want to pursue their own endeavors and work right away, we want to make sure that in terms of technology, they are ready to control their future. Technology is a vast area right now. It's one that is out for grabs. There are many things that are going to be happening in technology as we move forward, and you never know. The next Mr. Bezos may actually come from iPrep Academy North, and that's what we're looking for. We're not pushing it, but you never know. Anything is possible. One last thing about instruction is the making up of the work. The expectations are going to be very clear from our teachers, in which students have to complete work by a certain date. There shouldn't be any excuses from anybody. However, again, there are valid circumstances that may warrant an excuse, and those will be looked at by each individual teacher. The expectation is that work is completed on time. Again, work is completed on time, and no additional time will be given. In addition to that, there is no extra credit work in this building. If you cannot complete the regular work, you cannot complete the extra credit work. Why? The extra credit work has to be more difficult than the regular work. That is clear cut. So we need to be aware that students have to meet the expectations laid out by the teachers. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer those as well. Activities. And Mr. G has not jumped in, so that means that I am on target with whatever it is that I'm saying. But activities. In this building, we are blessed to have the best activities director. And believe me, here sit many individuals that I have hired, because each one of these teachers have been chosen by me, including the activities director person. So Mr. G is that activities director. He will be planning the field trips. He will be planning the activities within that have to do with attendance, with academic success, and any other activity related to clubs, related to whatever that may be. He is excellent at what he does. If any child is interested in a particular club and we don't have it in this particular building, we will make sure that we try to come up with it. And trying means I'm 99% sure that we will come up with it. And we have been so far. To the point, for instance, that Ms. Figueredo is joining a person that had to leave here and go back to Brazil. And we are trying to link the school where that individual is right now with our school to develop a club that will join both schools. And this was the idea of that young man. So again, the sky is the limit. There is always a door that can be open. I never close any doors. I always try to maintain them ajar and try to find a way for the air to flow. So I think that there are possibilities. Again, if those are interests of your child, will be able to come up with something that can actually help us or help your child. Tutoring. Tutoring in this particular case will be pinpointed tutoring. In the past, we have had open door tutoring. That hasn't quite worked the way that we want it. So in this particular case, teachers, as we move forward, will be asked to identify individuals that need or will benefit from tutoring sessions. These tutoring sessions will be conducted here in the building, free of charge, but they're not babysitting sessions. I don't babysit anybody, nor would you want me to babysit anybody. We are here to instruct your child and to benefit your child. If your child is participating in a club, if that club is meeting on that day, great, your child will stay. If your child is one of those that has been pinpointed for tutoring, your child is welcome to stay. Tutoring will run from 3 to 4 in the afternoon with certain teachers, whoever those teachers may be, to elect to carry on the tutoring. I urge you that if your child is identified as those individuals that needs tutoring, for you to participate. Some of our parents in the past have elected, and many of our parents here are going on a second round with us because they have a child here already and they have an incoming child now. So many of our parents in the past have elected to go through private tutors, and that's okay. That's not a problem. But we want to make sure that we provide something in-house. I do believe that when it comes from the teachers, is more fruitful. Again, our data indicates that whatever plans we have put in place in the past have actually worked. So I will continue to do that until I find that the data is not working. I'm a big data guy or big data person. I believe in it. I like numbers. And Ms. Baptiste is also a former mathematics teacher, which is great to have her on board. Analyzing data is something that we do continuously in this building, or teachers like Mr. Rollins or any of the other ones that are here come to tell me about how is it that the kids are performing. I enjoy the conversation. When parents come in, parents share information with me. I should be able to share information back. I believe in back and forth conversation. And that is the only way that we can actually find a solution. So again, data is very important to me, and we will continue with that. Sports. This is mostly for individuals that are in high school. But if your child is a child that is in high school and in grades 9 and above and is participating or wishes to participate in organized sports with a school, Microcrop, which is next door to us, is the school that I would recommend. And why? Is because of its proximity to us. So there will be some paperwork that will have to be completed in order for us to participate. It's the only link that we have to Microcrop. We have no other link to this particular institution other than sharing the same campus. But for organized sports, if a child wishes to participate, there is a mechanism by which we can actually do that as well.
Yeah, just to
go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes.
Just to add to that, we are a magnet school. So because of our magnet program distinction, we can't accept any students as far as sports are concerned. They play for their home school. So if your child is in wherever, we accept kids in 10-mile radius. So from Broward to Homestead, well, wherever they are, wherever their home school is, that's who they play sports for. There are some clubs in the area they may join, or after school programs they may join, but not crop will only be for the students that are actually supposed to be going to crop if that was their home school. So wherever your home school is where they'll be eligible to play sports at.
That is correct. That is correct, Mr. G. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if for some reason, again, there has to be a conversation related to sports, then you're welcome to approach me, and I'll be more than happy to guide you through that process. G, can you write my email address on the chat, please? My email address is going to be on the chat. You are welcome to email me anytime. Anytime. If you email me in the middle of the night, you may expect a response sometime the next day, and I will give it to you. I may give it to you as early as 4:30 in the morning. I go to bed at around 9, but I wake up at 4:30 to exercise. I look at my emails, and if I have to do something, I do it. If for some reason some of you have my phone number and you text me after I've gone to bed, I will text you at 4:30 in the morning. So it's it's a two-way conversation. And my two-way conversation starts at 4:30, although yours finished at midnight. Okay? So be aware of that. And my teachers are aware of this as well. They know, because sometimes I wake up and I have something to say and I send it to them, and that's the time. It may wake them up. Don't sleep with your phone next to you if you don't want to be awakened by Garnica's texts or emails. So just keep it in mind. But you can email me at any time. Usually I respond to you within the hour. If for some reason you believe that you need to see me, again, impromptu meetings outside are welcome. I'll be more than happy to answer those questions that you may have, because again, conversation is the only way to find solutions. I urge you to become part of the PTSA. Ms. Furman is here. Ms. Furman, is there anybody else from the PTSA joining us today? Ms.
Hi,
Furman,
everyone. No, I don't think so. I think I'm the only one here today.
okay, great. So, Ms. Furman, can you share on the chat the link to join the PTSA if you have it, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Ms. Furman. I really appreciate it. That's Tally Furman. She may become your liaison to the PTSA. Is a person that you want to know and that you want to reach out to. She has 2 kids here now in the building. So again, she just posted something on the chat. Make sure that you capture that information and that you join the PTSA. They've done a lot of things for us in these past 2 years, I should say, from buying paint to buying items that we use in the classroom, you name it. The cones that we have in the back to separate our drive-through process. So every little bit helps. You joining us is important. In addition to that, if kids do join as well, meaning the parent and the child, there are different, I should say, what's the word I'm looking for? Perks that go along with it. There are days in which they may wear shorts because they are part of the PTSA, or they get a lesser price if that's a shorts day. They may have a pizza day because they're members of the PTSA. So there are different incentives that are provided by them becoming part of this institution, that here in this building is one that we looked at as a partnership, and is one that provides a lot of support to our kids. Again, I can't stay away from that particular word, support. I mentioned distributions of Mac. One last thing before I finish my part of the presentation, and then I go on to the questions. Again, faculty members, everybody has an email address in this particular building. Teachers are going to send information to you with details as to what is best, or what's the best mechanism for you to reach out to them, or for you to exchange information with them. Make sure that you take advantage of that. It is imperative that you link to the teachers and that you stay on top of things. That's the only way that individuals will know what is it that needs to be done, or how is it that we need to address certain situations that your child may have, or that your child may be experiencing. So please keep that in mind as much as possible. Okay, that concludes my end of the presentation process. I saw a question a while ago about lunches, whether they are free or not. Lunches are so far free. And so is breakfast. Breakfast is always free. Lunches are they were free last year. I don't know what's going to happen the upcoming year. We do serve a full lunch here in the building, one that is well balanced. Kids bring their lunch. We have microwaves here in the building that students can actually utilize. Again, walking into this building is like walking into your home. There are mechanisms that can be utilized in order to provide whatever your kid needs. And having the microwave is one of those for particular children that wish to bring their own food from home. It has provided results. This year, we're going to have 3 microwaves so far. Last year, we had 2. And kids take advantage of it. Some of them are my age, even though they are 11 years old, and they like to do it that way. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it comfortable for them. And that's what we're looking for. So that concludes my piece. Mr. G, if you share those questions with me, I'll be more than happy to answer them, whatever those may be, and then we move forward from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just want to give a shout out to some of the faculty that joined us. Miss Moreno, she's there. She's been answering so many of the questions in the chat. Mr. Monsote, he's there.
Awesome.
Let me take you off spotlight. So if they say something, they'll be able to pop up. Yeah, Mr. Monsote is somewhere around the world doing something. I see Miss Wilson. Shout out to
I'm
her.
on the Gooseman.
Guzman.
I'm on the. I had to take her phone. So hey guys, I'm sitting here in Tennessee, and we're up in the mountains, and my phone died. So I just popped in and took her phone away from her. But this is Miss Guzman.
Okay. Ms.
So we're just
Guzman
sitting
is
here while
much
you
better
talk.
looking than Mr. Monsote, by the way. This is not Ms. Guzman. I'll be able to tell
Listen,
you
I
whether
didn't like
it's
to
Ms.
be-
Guzman or not. Okay.
All right.
But no,
So
yes.
first question was about electives. I believe Mr. Treto addressed elective questions in the chat. If they want to see their schedule, they'll be able to reach out to Ms. Treto to go over the schedule. The other question was the review of the summer assignment for the new students. Is there a way you can give them an explanation on the summer assignment?
Yeah, the summer assignment is meant to have students recall information mainly. And then if they can, be able to push themselves slightly moving forward. So if for some reason a child has not been able to complete the summer assignment up to this point because they do not have access to the portal or particular pieces of information that they may need, they would still have those 17 days moving forward after August begins in order to complete that particular assignment. And it should not take them an inordinate amount of time. The idea, again, is to review concepts previously thought and be able to experience a little bit of what's coming so that then they can actually see how is it that they're going to be pushed moving forward. And that's mainly in the mathematics area. In the English area, they're meant to read a book and do some annotations with that book. And I'm not sure if Ms. Alonso was able to join us. But yes, they have to read the book, create a quick synopsis of each particular chapter, I think it was, and be able to move forward from there. They also had an assignment on global perspectives. And global perspectives is a course that they take starting in 6th grade. They take it for 3 years in the middle grades, and then they take it one more time in high school. In high school, they take it for college credit, and it's meant to reconcile how is it that the kids look at the world and what are some of the problems that they see in their community, and how is it that these particular problems can be addressed. And Ms. Plasencia should have emailed you the information related to each one of these assignments so that then we can move forward from there. But I think there is still ample time for them to complete these particular assignments. Go ahead, Mr. G.
Yeah, you touched on the most important part is that your child is familiar with the rigor of what they're going into. It's just not their typical coming into their 5th or yeah, 5th through 8th math. They just need to step it up so when they come in, they're familiar with the coursework. The next one is laptop procedures. So next week on August 2nd and 3rd, we're going to be giving out the laptops. The way the procedure works, Mr. Garnica is going to email you the instructions. We are a paperless community, or try to be. And within that same scope, please read your email. And if you have any questions, just respond. If there's something you don't understand, just respond to the email. He'll be glad to give you any type of correction or details that you may not understand. But the most part is that to fill out the form. You're going to fill out the form, the insurance. We do encourage you to get it, but it is optional. But again, like he said, sometimes things happen because we're dealing with young folks. So we want to make sure that we're protected and you're not spending an absorbent amount of money trying to refix something that was brand new. They're getting brand new Apple MacBooks, Intel M1 chips. So we're giving them exactly what the standard is for today. It's not 3 years old, it's 4 years old. It is current. They just came in. Our IT has made them produce it for the school, and they're ready. So all you need to do is fill out the form, come in with your child. Your child has to be brought into the school because they have to sign in. We do need your child to come and sign in. That's the only way we can activate the system. If you cannot be here, you're out of town, you're not around, you can't be here, please, I put Miss Tracy's email address in the chat. We do encourage you to come, because if not, then you'll be a part of the latecomers, and that'll be during probably the school, when school starts, right? Because we're trying to get everybody in as quick as possible, and you might not be able to get a device until school starts. So we do encourage you to be part of the first come basis. We do have a device for everyone, but for those who have traveled, we might not be able to have another day because we're getting the building ready to where we're going to occupy the entire school just to give out devices. So please, we encourage you to be here, but we understand things happen. We understand you might not be around. So if you are not around, then you'll be getting it on the first day of school or the first week of school. But the most important part, and the parent necessarily has to bring in the form. We just want you to come, because on the first day of school, you can send your child with the form. We will give them the device. It's not like the parent has to come on day one. We encourage you to come next week because it's just the device. We're going to come and go. We don't want you dropping them off. We're not going to hold on to them. We're not scheduled to keep your kids yet until the 17th. So for next week, you're going to come, sign the paper, but then we're only dealing with your child, have them sign in, get them started, answer any questions that we have with your child, and then you're just their driver. You're just their Uber driver. So that's for next week. But when you see the email from Mr. Garnica, please fill out the form. That's your part. Please make sure you fill out the form. The next question is uniform issues. During Mr. Garnica's address, I contacted Mr. Javier, and I thank you, Ms. Tao, for putting Ms. Furman. She dropped his information in the chat. The uniforms will be out next week. He said that the uniforms will be out next week. They're right now clearing customs, and he'll be able to send them out next week. They're going to be full distribution next week. The update on the sweaters, someone asked about sweaters. Sweaters have been updated. You should be able to see a refresh on the site sometime next week. So if you have questions about uniforms, please be patient. And I know someone asked, what if we don't get it? I mean, we know, we're constantly in communications. Like I said, we just got off the phone with him. We're constantly in communications with the vendor. If a particular student had placed the order, but they didn't get it, we understand that. And we'll make that distinction on day one of school as to what to do about it. But we do, like Garnica said in the beginning of the speech, encourage everyone to be in uniform at all times. We are a 100% uniform school. New students, there was a question about new students and not getting their uniform information or information about what to do. How do you get in the portal? Please email Ms. Placencia. She should be sending you out a welcome package. If you did not get it, I put her email address in the chat as well. She'll be able to address all the new students that did not receive the welcome back email. Again, we know when you come in, you're signing out those papers. Your I might be an L, your L might be another letter. So, mistakes happen, human error occurs. So if you did not receive anything, please email her. And just to make sure we have the proper email address, the husband, the wife, the mom, the dad, please make sure we have your correct email address on file, because again, we're going to be sending out that information through email. Someone asked about will the portal carry over? If you're a day school student, if you are a current student in Miami-Dade County, yes, the portal carries over. It's the same system every school uses. This year, we're going into an additional Schoology, which is an additional grade portal, but that all carries over. You will be receiving more information about Schoology in the times to come. Last year, we piloted the program, and this year is going to be fully implemented, where if a project is graded in Schoology, it'll go right directly to the grade book, and then it'll be uploaded to the portal. That way parents can see it. They're trying to streamline the system as much as possible. There was a question about security system. Mr. Garnica, you want to address the fact that we have no doors, and
sir.
what are we doing about security in the beginning and at the end of the day?
The no doors policy, well, not policy, the no doors issue is one that parents have been bringing to my attention since the beginning, or since the genesis of this building 2 years ago. Yes, we have no doors in the building. Most kids are accustomed to having hard corners within their classrooms, because within those classrooms, you can actually close the door and lock it up and no one should be able to come in. For us in this particular building, and the way I see it, and that's the reason why I'm so visible, is because the entire building is a hard corner for us. So there's a security monitor, Ms. Reynolds, that's going to be stationed at the front of the building, and certainly Ms. Daniels, and then hopefully Ms. Holt would be here in the building as well. So Ms. Daniels would be here in the morning along with Ms. Reynolds. Ms. Reynolds would be here the entire day, letting people or scanning people in the front for them to be able to enter the building. She will scan your driver's license. She will make sure that everything is okay. If she sees a problem, she will call one of the administrators. If for some reason the person is clear to come in, then she will utilize the fob and allow the person in. We only have one point of entry in this particular building. In addition to that, we have an SRO in the building. Usually he's stationed on the southeast side of the building, Mr. Frederick, and he's phenomenal. So we try to keep an eye on everything that's happening. The flow, one more thing, the flow of parents after we begin classes at 7:50 is solely on the east side of the building. So people can only come in through the bus lane, enter the gate, see Ms. Reynolds. Ms. Reynolds lets them into the building. If for some reason there is a problem at any time, certainly notifications will go out to parents, but we try to keep everything as under control as possible. The additional doors in the building, other than the front one, are constantly being monitored, whether it is by the camera system that we have or by the person that's in the back, Ms. Daniels or Ms. Holt. And hopefully, again, it's about preventing things from occurring. I'm a firm believer in that. You try not to react, you try to prevent. And that's what we try to do in order to be able to move forward. Go ahead, Mr. G.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so they addressed computer pickup. We talked about lunch and breakfast. What time does breakfast start? And we talked about lunches and what time does breakfast start? Okay,
So breakfast begins at 7:20 in the morning, 7:20, and it runs up to 7:40. Now, why not more time? Well, we want to make sure that the last individual that gets breakfast gets to eat the breakfast. And for that, they have 10 minutes. That's 7:40 to 7:50. So by 7:50, kids need to be sitting in their classroom. And again, breakfast is free. Any child can get it. Kids take advantage of it. One of the things that I find, however, is please tell your youngsters that if they don't want to eat breakfast, not to get it, because many a times they get it and then they dump all of it in the garbage. And we end up with an overflow of things that should not be there. So yes, breakfast starts at 7:20 in the morning.
Okay. One of the questions about security was of active shooter drills. And yes, we are very fervent in active shooter drills. We understand the conditions in which and the climate that we're in this current day and age, but we've been doing active shooter drills since the inception of the building, and we understand that we have no doors. The unfortunate conditions in which active shooters participate doesn't rely on doors, whether there's doors or not doors in the building. It's about being vigilant. Mr. Garnica, as a leader of our building, has stressed the fact that we are all vigilant. We must be vigilant at all times. He is not conditioned to being in the office and staying in the office. It's about speaking to the RSO. It's about having our security being vigilant at all times. That's the reason why we encourage IDs, uniforms at all times, so that we can identify who is who in the building. We're also part of different programs. Since our inception, we participated in a program called Vigil, the active shooter program, to make sure that we can identify when God forbid, any active shooters come into the building. It's a machine that stays in the front. It's also similar to a metal detector. They're revamping it and looking to do another pilot. When that takes place, we're uncertain, but we do code red drills, we do fire drills, and we're very, very big on making sure that everyone in the building is protected at all times. We understand, again, the climate that we're in, and we want to make sure that we come in and go home all in one piece. I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No. Thank you, Mr. G. That was good. That's excellent. Thank you.
Okay. And about activities, yes. Again, I'm Mr. G. Any activities, clubs? There was a couple of questions about activities and clubs. I like to consider myself fun in the sun. If your child is interested in something, just like Ms. Figs, again, when Garnica picks out these individual teachers, there is not just one condition. It's not just, can you teach math? Can you teach reading? No, but who are you well-rounded? Mr. Rollins is also over chess. Mr. Rollins is also over our fitness club. We look for students and what they desire, and then we look for a teacher that has similarities in that desire, and then we create that club. And that is what we do within our building. So if you're a child coming in brand new, they want to do something. We had an anime club that Ms. Moreno was running. These are different ideas. The social club that Miss Julieta Osorio is running, because she loves to dance, she loves to party, and it's all about different countries and finding different foods. Again, your child comes with different ideas. We are the school within our size to entertain them and make sure that they're coming here to learn, but they're also coming here to let go and be free. We understand our climate. We understand that so many students that come into magnet programs are introverts and they're quiet, they're kept to themselves. But the beauty of our building is that they're coming into a building with similar like-minded students. And it's all about conversation. The most important thing that I stress as an activities director in our building is to converse, right? That's going to be the way you win academically, and that's going to be the way you win, like, just mentally, is to converse. You have to be able to speak. No one is going to be upset with you about your idea or your thoughts. We're going to encourage you. We're going to take those thoughts and take it to the next level and advance it. We have soccer during lunch, but that was student driven. Volleyball, we're still trying to figure out the conditions of the ground and how to bring the volleyball net back and do it all over again. Miss Figs was dominating the ping pong table at lunch. So we have things that we're going to be able to express yourself and your personality, and we want you to be able to tell us who you are. You know, Mr. Garnica stresses the fact that everyone, administration, teachers, we're at parent pickup, we're at parent dismissal, because that's the time we have. And at lunch, that's the time we have to get to know who the kids are. It's really, really important not to just be around the kids in the classroom. You'll see Miss Wilson, Miss Moreno, Miss Biggs, you'll see them all, Mr. Osorio. We're always in and out. Mr. Rollins interacting with the kids. We're downstairs during lunch. No one's cooped up in their classrooms, just hiding. No, we're talking to them. We're challenging them on ping pong tables, volleyball. We're interacting with them on chess. Mr. Rollins dominating them on chess and checkers. But this is how we get to know who the kids are. And that's part of what our whole system is at iPrep, to learn academically, socially, and to come out of your shell and find out who you are and what you like to do. So I didn't see any other questions. And if I missed something, I have a few minutes to just unmute and say it. If not, this is our conclusion.
Does anybody have anything else that you need answered? Or any comments, anything?
Mr. Garnica,
Yes, ma'am.
hi.
Hi, Edward.
They're asking to be clarified by if the sixth graders, all of them are going to take global perspective or not.
Yes, in this building, everybody takes global perspectives in grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. Then they retake it one more time at a high school level in either 9th, 10th, or 11th. So that's just the pattern that we need to follow. Again, it's about enhancing their abilities to do research, to present, to write, to see perspectives, to solution find. So there are different situations that are presented in each one of these classes. So the answer is yes. Thank you, Ms. Moreno.
Yeah, the Global Perspective Pre-ACE course, it becomes in the 11th grade year, a testing area where every student has to pass in order to achieve the Cambridge diploma. So doing it in 6th grade is part of our pre-training ground so that students are familiar with the content, and they start now, like Mr. Garnica said, how to research and find out information for themselves. But everything we do, all of our pre-ACE classes are leading up to high school, where when they get into the high school portion of IPAN, they're going to understand what it means to be ACE. They're going to understand what it means to have a Cambridge diploma, a standard diploma. What does it mean for their future? And this is what we're training them in our pre-ACE courses, because in the ACE courses where they're going to be tested in tested areas, that's going to be the outcome of whether they receive the diploma. And we don't have anyone not receiving the diploma. So please be mindful of that. Every student in this school will graduate with a diploma, or else you will not be an IPAN student. So every IPAN student leaves with a standard diploma and a Cambridge ACE diploma, mandatory. So that's the only way you will not is if we have to revert you back to your home school because you're not doing what you have to do in class.
Correct. Correct. Okay. So this concludes our presentation. I hope that you got a better picture of what iPrep Academy North is about. I'm looking forward to having you here as a parent. This is a partnership between you and I to benefit your child and to make sure that they get the best possible education that they can get. As we move
Mr.
forward.
Garnica,
Yes.
there's one last question about the
ahead.
computers. That they're asking if the parent can go and pick it up because the kids are not there or something. I'm not sure what it's about, but it's something about that.
So on that particular day, when they come to pick up the machines, the parent has to know the ID number and the login information, the login password for the child if they're coming without the child. But usually you bring the child because you want to make sure that they can log into the machine, but that's what the parent would have to know. Username and password to be able to log in. Okay? Great. Again, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to reach out into your household and to share information with you. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the school year. I think is going to be terrific again. And again, I am an email away. By the way, one more thing before you close me out, and I know that you're looking forward to leaving. The very first week of class, you are going to get a, Ms. Plasencia, what's the card name? The emergency contact card form. Okay. Please make sure that you read through the information, that the information is accurate, and that the email addresses on that card are legible. In this building, all the information is sent out via email. I don't call you if I don't have to. I don't give robocalls if I don't have to, but I do send emails. And I send emails one at a time for each particular issue. I don't compile the emails and send you one. If I have to deal with you about uniforms, I send you a uniform. If I have to deal with you about attendance, I send you the attendance. But I don't send you multiple things within one email. So make sure that your email is up to date, because we want to make sure that Ms. Plasencia has it and that we can actually send information forward. Okay? Thank you very much again. Hoping to have you here soon. Looking forward to the beginning of the school year, and please enjoy the rest of the summer. The teachers that are on board, and then please remain so that they can chat with you for a little bit. Parents, bye-bye. Thank you for having me in your house. I really appreciate it.